Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be taking a tour of my sports car garage in Grand Theft Auto Online, and a lot has changed since the last time you guys saw my sports car garage, which was probably about 4 months ago or something like that. So of course today we're doing the year-end garage tour, and then once the new DLC comes out early next year, we will be doing some more garage tours, so you guys will get an updated tour a little bit later on. Anyway guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into this, and we're gonna start off with the first car. The first car that we're gonna be talking about in my garage is the Pfister Comet S2. Now I actually customized this car on the channel probably about 5 months ago or something like that with this exact customization. It looks really good in my opinion. I'm super happy with how this thing actually turned out. I went for a 911 Turbo S type of build with this thing. I've got the roof rack on it. It was kind of inspired by Adam LZ. He's an automotive YouTuber. His Turbo S, he actually sold it, and it used to be black, but then he bought another one. Anyways, I really like this car. I've done it in a cream. It is a Tuners DLC vehicle, so it has lots of customization that you can do to it. Unfortunately, the S2 is not my favorite car to drive ever. I actually really don't like how this thing drives, but I do absolutely love how it looks. So that was enough for me to be able to, you know, sacrifice it and just keep owning it. You know, I don't really need the money, so I decided to just hang on to this vehicle. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for the Pfister Comet S2. Let's move on to the next vehicle. Next up, we have the brand new Lampadati Corsita from the Criminal Enterprises DLC. Now, the Lampadati Corsita is a car that I've continued to hang on to because I love how this thing looks. It's based pretty heavily off of the new Maserati MC20 in real life, at least in my opinion. It could be based off of a few different things, but I do see a lot of the MC20's shape in the Corsita, so that's primarily what I think it's based off of. I've done mine in an ultra blue with the all white interior. I think the interior looks super clean on this thing. I went for the full carbon roof, the carbon wing. Went for the cheetah carbon R's for my rims on this thing just because there's so much carbon on the vehicle. I figured it just kind of matched up well. The Corsita performance-wise is not my favorite car to drive. I find that this thing doesn't have very good handling at all. It kind of spins out a lot. It is very quick in a straight line. The acceleration's good. The top speed is pretty decent as well. Just not exactly my favorite car to drive ever, but it is a cool one nonetheless. And I definitely think it's a nice one to own. I'm definitely happy that I own it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Lampadati Corsita. It's a decent car. So anyways, on to the next vehicle. It is of course the Ocelot Locust. Now this was in here in the last garage tour. Other than this, I think there's maybe one other car that's remained in here from the last garage tour. And the only reason that the Ocelot Locust is still here is because I absolutely love this car. If you guys saw my best sports cars video, probably about 2 weeks ago, the Ocelot Locust was on there, and I was praising it heavily because this car is just so much fun to drive. The only problem that I have with the Ocelot Locust is that you don't actually get any sort of roof options. The most that you can do to this thing is just put this weird roll cage on, so that is kind of annoying. I wish this thing actually had a roof. If it had a roof, it would actually be like the perfect car. I would absolutely love it. With that being said, I love the performance of it altogether. Handles incredibly well. It's got good acceleration. Top speed, a little bit weaker than I would maybe like, but I'm not really a top speed fan anyways. I don't really care about that. I like acceleration and handling, so the Ocelot Locust is like a perfect car for me for, you know, going around the vineyard and that sort of area on the map. I think that the Ocelot Locust is absolutely perfect. So definitely pick up the Locust. It goes for about $1.6 million. It's a great car to have for sure. That's all I got to say about it. Up next, we have the Lampadati Komoda. Now, I actually just customized this the other day, so you guys are probably pretty fresh with this in your minds. The Lampadati Komoda is, I believe, the only four-door vehicle in this entire garage, so that is cool. Now, you might be saying, well, the Lampadati Komoda is actually a sedan. Technically, I wouldn't disagree with you, but in GTA, this thing is in the sports car category, so I consider it to be a sports car because of that. The Lampadati Komoda, lots of good customization options. I think it's a fantastic looking car. I mean, this vehicle, it looks good from pretty much every single angle. It's definitely one that I appreciate pretty much more than any other car in GTA that's a four-door. I think that the Komoda, the VSTR, I think those are probably my two favorite four-door sedans or sports cars in the entire game. I think they look really good. The Lampadati Komoda also sounds absolutely insane. This car is so good. For its sound. Definitely just such a cool car. Definitely one that you guys are going to want to pick up if you're interested. This was, of course, on sale last week, so if you guys are trying to get it on sale, it's going to be a very long time until it actually goes on sale again, so just keep that in mind. On to the next vehicle. Of course, we have the Grotti Itali RSX. We actually do have 3 cars in this garage that I believe were in here in the last tour, and this is one of them. The Grotti Itali RSX, a lot of people are probably going to be like, bro, that's in the supercars category. No, it's actually not. It is a sports car, technically, in GTA. Could very easily be in the supercars category. This thing is very quick around a circuit in GTA. It's a top 3 fastest sports car. Actually, it's probably gone down a little bit now since we have some of the HSW vehicles and stuff like that. But on PC, I would say that the RSX, and on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, I would say that the RSX is probably the 3rd fastest sports car in the entire game. Behind the Ocelot Pariah and the Itali GTO. The Grotti RSX does have a couple of issues with it. The rear spoiler on this car doesn't actually provide any downforce to the vehicle. Ruffy1322 has made several videos talking about this. If you guys are interested in learning a little more about that, go check it out. That's kind of why the RSX doesn't exactly handle super well. It does handle like decently, don't get me wrong, but it could be a lot better. It's kind of unfortunate. It's just not the greatest handling car. I think it looks fantastic. It's pretty heavily based off of the Ferrari SF90, I would say. It has so much customization you can do to it as well. It's got good livery options. I really do think it is just a fantastic car. So definitely check into the Grotti Itali RSX if you guys are interested. However, one thing that I will mention, it is by far the most expensive car in the entire game that is not weaponized and that is not an open wheel car. So just take that and be aware of that for sure. Anyways, on to the next vehicle. It is, of course, the Coquette D10. Now, I actually did have a Coquette D10 in my last garage as well. However, I made a new customization of a different Coquette D10, so this is actually just a totally separate car. Now, this one, I went for more of an aggressive build. I went for sort of the wide body-ish look to it. I went for some of the racing modifications. Obviously, it's got a larger spoiler. It has these the rear canards. It's got a rear diffuser made out of carbon there. It's got the carbon side skirts and obviously this huge carbon front splitter on it. I really do like this customization of this car a lot. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The only thing that I would maybe change is actually change the stripes to being black, just because I feel like it might match up a little better with the car. However, I think it still looks fantastic. The interior is done in an ultra blue because the Corvette C8s in real life that this thing is based off of do have a very bright blue interior. Sometimes you can get them with that, and I think that it just looks super good. So I decided to put that on this car. And I think that this thing looks absolutely fantastic. It's got the cheetah carbon R's on it as well to match the rest of the carbon fiber. Definitely one of my better builds that I've done on the Coquette D10 so far. That's what I would say for sure. So that's it for the Coquette D10. Let's move on to the next vehicle. Next up, we have the Obey 10F wide body. Now, this just got added into the game about last week with the weekly update. The Obey 10F came out a long time ago, but the wide body kit for it just was released last week, and the wide body kit is absolutely insane. It makes this car into almost a different feeling car. I think that it's so much wider. The car is a little bit wider, so I do feel like it just handles a lot better. I definitely noticed a huge difference between the regular 10F and the 10F wide body. The wide body is just, it looks so much better, it performs so much better. The customization is also better in my opinion as well. You got wings like this. I mean, this is a crazy looking wing. I think this looks fantastic. And you got lots of different options like that just to make this thing look pretty much as insane as you possibly can. So I think that the Obey 10F wide body, definitely a pretty cool car. It's just outside of the top 10 fastest sports cars in the game, so it's not going to win you any races probably, but it is still a very cool car to have for free mode nonetheless. Definitely gets my stamp of approval. As you guys can see, cheetah carbon R's on this as well. I got this wrong. These are actually the solars on the Coquette D10 now that I'm looking at them. So anyways, Obey 10F wide body, definitely a very cool car. Definitely pick this thing up if you guys don't have one already. On to the next vehicle, we have the Grotti Itali GTO. You guys probably saw this one coming. The Grotti Itali GTO, definitely my favorite sports car in Grand Theft Auto Online when it comes to racing. For the build on this thing, I've gone for, I believe it's a Mariner Blue, or maybe it's, you know what, actually I think it's a Saxon Blue. It's a Saxon Blue, and the secondary color is, I believe, orange of some sort. It might be dark orange, it might be just regular orange. But I went for an 812 super fast build on this particular Itali GTO. I think that it looks really, really good. I've gone for kind of a more aggressive spoiler than I usually go for on this car. I think that this thing with the little orange accents looks so damn good. I really like how this has turned out. The Itali GTO is the fastest sports car in Grand Theft Auto Online around a circuit. If you don't suck at racing. If you suck at racing, you probably won't like this thing, but the Itali GTO, it's got a pretty high skill gap. Like, once you understand how it works, it really is just better than every other sports car in the entire game when it comes to racing. So I prefer using the Itali GTO over anything else. I also have a full racing build of this thing, but that's in my racing garage, which you guys will probably see in the coming weeks, I would imagine. Anyways, that's it for the Grotti GTO. It is absolutely fantastic. You guys are going to want to pick this thing up if you don't have one of these already as well. Moving on to the next car, we have the Comet SR. The Pfister Comet SR is a fantastic car. It is a top 10 fastest sports car in Grand Theft Auto Online. I think it formerly ranked as number 6. On PC, I'd say it's probably still number 6, but on the expanded and enhanced edition, for those of you that are on that, I'd say it's probably 7th or 8th, depending on, maybe it's even higher. I'd say it's probably between 7 to 9. It's still probably within the top 10. It is a really, really quick car. It's a really good looking car as well. Lots of customization, obviously. I've got mine built like a GT3 RS with the carbon hood on it, the carbon roof, of course, and the big boy spoiler on the back, the carbon rear diffuser, carbon side skirts, carbon front splitter, and these carbon side vents. I think that this thing looks really, really good. I'm super happy with it, super impressed. The Pfister Comet SR, it sounds great too, handles really nicely. The acceleration is pretty good as well. Top speed, a little bit suffering, but it's still quite good. Nonetheless, I think it's a great car. Definitely one that you guys should pick up for sure. And it's also relatively cheap. I think it goes for only 1.1 mil. So compared to a lot of the other cars in this garage, it's actually quite cheap. So maybe you guys are going to want to consider picking up a Pfister Comet SR. Anyways, that's it for this car. Let's move on to the final car. It is, of course, the Benefactor SM722. A lot of people really don't like this thing, and honestly, that's fair enough. I can totally see why some people don't like it. The Benefactor SM722 is based off of the Mercedes McLaren SLR Sterling Moss Edition. That's what the SM stands for in the SM722, and 722 is also Sterling Moss's racing number, from what I understand. Very, very cool car. I do like it for the heritage sort of reasons. You know, Rockstar didn't really have to go into that, but I do think it is cool that they have. The interior on this vehicle is also super well detailed. Like, this might be the nicest interior on any car in GTA. Like, look at that interior. It looks so good. It actually looks like they spent some time on it. And I think the reason for this is obviously because this thing doesn't even have a roof option. So they knew you were going to come up to this car and see the inside of it. And I guess they wanted it to look really nice. And it's kind of frustrating because Rockstar could put this interior in literally every single car and I'd be happy with it. Literally, if every car just came with this interior, that would be great. But sadly, we don't get that. So the Benefactor Sterling Moss, or the SM722, as I guess it should be called, pretty cool car. Very quick in a straight line. It's very driftable. It's like super easy to drift this thing. It's actually very controllable too, so that is quite nice. The top speed is a little bit higher on this thing because I think because of the handling being kind of bad, they made up for it by giving it a little bit of a higher top speed and a little bit better acceleration. It's a really cool car. It's got some good customization options. Unfortunately, you can't put a roof on it, but still, it is very, very cool nonetheless. Definitely a cool car. Definitely one of the cooler cars from the Criminal Enterprises DLC in Grand Theft Auto Online. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for my sports car garage in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, like I said with the supercars garage, this is not all of my sports cars. I could probably make another sports car garage tour if you guys are interested. So let me know in the comments down below. But these are my main sports cars in my main sports car garage for right now. I'm sure this will get updated in the coming months, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what other garage tours you guys want to see in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, of course. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.